She looks a profesh. I just did.
I want to make sure it didn't sound too loud when I'm speaking.
Mm.
Actually, it doesn't sound like the microphone seems to pick it up just from the front, so it's harder. So there we go. That should be better. And we'll be looking on this screen mostly anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
The Disney thing. I downloaded a bunch of stuff on here. Oh, hey Big B, how's it going? Fix all this stuff up. Game capture. The Disney. We need to do the music. The music's gonna be way too loud though. The game audio. I mean, Disney. Oh, forget your water. Oh, no, you got water right there. Alrighty.
I like how it's Mushu. The logo.
Yeah. Stop. No, I did the last time. Volume settings. Four's good. It's going pretty good, Big D. I'm here with my wife today, so we're just gonna be chatting around, playing some old CD-ROM games. So, trying to see how it works though. It might not work.
Ones that we're able to, at least.
Problem is these old CD-ROM games all go full screen, so it doesn't let me switch over. Let's see. If it doesn't work though, it'll be sad. Yes.
Welcome! Come on in. Are you ready? Then pick a game and let's have some fun.
Wow, that pun is horrible.
Doesn't show it though. Let's do this first to get this showed up. Come on. Come on. Ooh. Where did I go? Well.
Light up the night.
Oh god.
It's not working. We're gonna have to do a display capture again instead. That's fine. Capture the display. My disappointed face. Let's see. Did it work?
Light up.
No, why is it so small?
Light up the night.
that sucks. This might not work.
It's so weird.
It's because it changes the resolution because it's really tiny.
Oh.
Sure. Oh man. Because if I do this, it's gonna go right back to being the same thing. It's not gonna work. So. Try that again.
Light up the night.
The problem is I can't go back. This isn't gonna work. No Mushu. No arcade frenzy. That's okay. Oops. Display still. Let's turn the display off. Okay. Anything else you want to do as far as playing around? Well, that might actually be its own different thing because it's gonna take so long to figure it out.
Lilo and Stitch pinball.
Yeah. We could play some Flash games. You want to play some Flash games? Just some more Flash games.
Sure.
It's Ace. Hello.
Mhm.
Let's leave that here. What was the other one that we used to do? This is one that I did. This one. Dang, they stopped updating in 2020. So sad.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we can't even play a lot of Flash games anymore. How's it going though, Ace? Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of Flash games, just something to kind of something easy to chit chat to.
What was with the tier list thing then?
I just wanted to do it too, but
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
because I wanted to do it too, but I know you wanted to just chit chat first.
Oh, that's fine.
It's up to you. Are you doing well? Sleepy? Yeah. My Tuesday was okay. I actually felt like it went by pretty fast.
Mm.
We did a bingo at my work today. From
Hey, PD.
From 1 to 3 we did bingo. I wasn't there the whole time, but yeah. But the library, they were trying to get some more people in, trying to do some some bingo. So then they went over to what's that called? Pop Shelf. Went to Pop Shelf and bought a bunch of I was gonna type in Pop Shelf. Type in Bowman. Let's play Bowman. That's at least something easy we could do. I want that one. Yeah, but it was nice though. Bowman 2. Crazy. I think it was. What was the one that? Crazy Games. This one. The problem is these all might just be ads. I don't even play. Yeah, but it was nice. It's been a long time since we played bingo. The last time we played bingo was probably. This is loud. At my dad's workplace. So. No, I keep doing that. Can I turn the sound up? I feel like this would be really loud.
And then just turn the sound down.
Yeah, it's good enough. Okay. Yeah. But yeah. It was pretty good though. I feel like bingo was pretty fun. We had some bingo experts there, so we had one guy who was a big bingo expert telling us all about the goings on in the bingo land of our county. So because he was like, yeah, I go to the VFW, and he goes to the senior center, and they got some like real big bingo stuff going on. Because he says that like every time he plays bingo, he wins about $100.
Jeez.
Because they do cash prizes. Yeah, and we were like, what's the like entry fee? And he's like $9.
Huh.
Yeah. But I guess you have to be a part of the senior center, or I don't know. I guess you just have to be old to do it. I'm not sure. Oh no, I don't even remember which one I did. Yeah. Oh, come on. So I think I got it. Maybe you've got it too, though. Let's see. Ow! Guy doesn't care. Okay. Yeah. But we were also looking to talk about Hmong stuff, just if it came up, like trying to figure out, because is there anything in particular you wanted to talk about? Oh, you're off the screen.
Oh.
Yeah. It's off the screen. It's cheating. Here, go again.
Okay.
Go again. It's cheating. You're off the screen. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we can do this for a little while and then we could play. We could do the Pokemon thingy too, though.
Sure.
Because I don't have any topics, is the problem.
Mm.
Next something to like, go off of.
As far as Hmong stuff, or?
Yeah, just something to... Wait, what happened? Oh, I hit you, that's why.
You just...
No. Oh. Oops.
Ah!
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just, I guess, like, yeah. As far as, like, how I got into it, what, you know, as far as the differences, the kind of culture shockish, as far as, like, for both of us, even, as far as, Hmong versus,
That's fine then. I think if you just want to talk, then go ahead for now. If you want to go and just talk for now.
Well, where should I start?
Well, you start. That's what I'm saying. I don't have anything lined up, so like it's hard for me to just figure out something to talk about. So if you've got something on your mind, you can just start. Yeah. That's why I was gonna try to prep something, but I don't know. Tell us about your husbandos and waifus. Oh, well, we can go through a couple different topics.
Okay.
Just like shooting off different topics of just talking, just about ourselves in general. Because we were talking yesterday even of just like childhood crushes and stuff like that. But that might be like a whole other stream thing. But oh yeah. So if you do have questions, there you go. You know. We might be able to show them because we will be meeting Ace and PD and them at some point. So since we're already gonna meet them, I'm not super opposed to showing them like our dancing videos and stuff like that. But not on stream. Just yeah. I don't mind though, as long as you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
In the what?
Oops.
In the like 480p quality anyway, so it'll be fine. They won't really be able to make out our faces.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could do the big collab video where, I mean, you can pick me out because I'm the one white girl in amongst all the Asians, but
we could maybe see. I think yeah, as long as it doesn't have our names on it.
No.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, she was in an ad. Ow. I feel like I should already know where it is. It's like right there. It keeps. There we go. You're dead.
Yeah.
Yay! I win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we could definitely do that. So.
Dancing is really fun. Same thing with like weddings. It would be a little bit hard to, I guess, really well, weddings is a little bit of a different story, but like you can go on YouTube and just search like Hmong dances and Hmong weddings, and there's like tons and tons and tons of videos that you can see. I really like watching Hmong dances. The way that I kind of describe it, I mean, of course, because Hmong people come from Thailand and Laos, there's a little bit of like, you know, Thai and Laotian influences, and kind of also is like the way that I kind of describe it to my friends and family is it's a little bit like hula dancing in Hawaii, because whenever you see a hula dance, you know, they have a specific meaning, or kind of like a meaning as to like what their arm movements mean. So I think that's really cool. And I just like the kind of like fluidity to it. There you go. Do the Barbie one. Just go to Barbie.com.
Oh my god, there's so many. Yeah, keep going though. I'm trying not to distract you.
Yeah, right. And let me see what else. Food. Food is interesting because oh, there you go. Sort of. Maybe? Huh.
Oh, these are made in scratch. Ooh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Jabberwocky. That's Ruby. Anyways.
Kind of. As far as like, it's hard to, it kind of like, I guess like for a good example, just a quick example that I can think of is, when you say thank you in Thailand a lot, there's a, when you say thank you, they like, you know, like they put their hand, you know, put your hands together like a pray position, and that's kind of like how you, like, you know, you say thank you. So when you see, when you're hearing the song and the song is like saying like thank you for whatever, then, you know, they might put their hands together in like a pray position, as a kind of like that. But that's even, yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, it's really cool though. Oh, I like that one. I like that photo. But it's very cool. And food is interesting because food is very heavily influenced, I would say, by Vietnamese, Thai, and Laotian. As far as, you know, like Hmong people eat pho, which is Vietnamese or Thai. They eat papaya salad, which is Thai or Vietnamese even, I think. But like we were like, they have at some Asian stores, you can find Hmong sausage, which is pretty good. It's got a little bit of a spice to it. It's got like ginger ground into it. It's really good. At the New Year's that we have, the Hmong New Year's, in North Carolina, it's kind of like a fair almost, as far as like there's a fairground, and there's a bunch of vendors that come to sell jewelry, clothes. There's performances. There's a stage where there's dance groups want to perform and dance. Sometimes they'll do a competition, especially in bigger states with the bigger populations of Hmong people, like in Minnesota and California and Wisconsin. They have huge places that it's just a bunch. But in our state, it's a little bit smaller, so it's just kind of more like a fairground, and it's just a bunch of stalls and a stage, and they do pageants. They have a Hmong pageant. Back in the day, I guess, you could say I wanted to be in a Hmong pageant. I don't know why, because I never wanted to be in a white girl, an American pageant. But I wanted to be in a Hmong one. But I wasn't allowed to because I wasn't Hmong. And but I mean, I get it. It's understandable. But as far as food, there's purple rice, purple sticky rice that they serve with pork, like pork belly, the sausage. There's these what you call stuffed chicken wings, which is like you pretty much take like an egg roll, the stuffing in an egg roll, and you stuff it into a chicken wing.
These pictures are so small.
And oh, sesame balls. They're like these doughy sesame balls that are really good. We love boba tea. Or what we say bubble tea sometimes. We at our house don't really cook Hmong food that often. Technically, because it was funny because I was talking to my brother-in-law about this. My sister's husband, he's also Caucasian, so he likes spicy food, which is good because he loves like trying Hmong spicy food because you can kind of see in the
Ooh, look at that.
The little red
so
cup
good.
here, that's probably what we call gotza, and it just means like it's a pepper paste. They take the little Thai chili peppers and they ground it in a mortar and pestle, and you add cilantro, some fish sauce, salt, MSG, lime juice or lemon juice, and it's just kind of like their condiment that they eat with pretty much every meal. And it's kind of like the way my mom put it was you have the bland rice and then you have it with the spicy pepper, so it like gives it that flavor, because pretty much the food that technically is like influenced from Thai food and Vietnamese food, really like the only food that we kind of like came to a conclusion of that's like only done by Hmong people is just boiled chicken. they just took chicken and they just boil it with maybe salt and pepper, and then they just eat it straight like that. With rice, and then the pepper. So the pepper gives the bland chicken flavor as you eat it. Yeah,
I guess you could say it. I guess you could say bland. It's more just like it's just
simple.
Simple, yeah,
Yeah.
Is really what it is.
The only thing we really at least made at our house is egg rolls, because at work, my coworkers love Hmong egg rolls, and so I've made it a few times to bring to work for special occasions like Christmas. And they were a big hit. I like, if you ever go to like a Chinese restaurant and you have those like egg rolls that are kind of like the outside wrapper is like really thick and it's kind of like crackly looking. I don't like those. But
you mean like the Chinese?
Yeah, you know like which ones I'm talking about, right?
You mean like these?
Like kind of, yeah, like those. I don't care for those. It's like something, I don't know what's about. Like something on the inside is like too mushy or something like that for me. But in Hmong egg rolls, I really like Hmong egg rolls, but I think it's like maybe partially the wrapper, but probably really the filling is the thing that's better for me, because it's ground pork, cabbage, carrots, the like glass bean noodles, hoisin sauce, bunch of hoisin sauce, No,
Some.
not hoisin. Oyster.
Oyster sauce.
Oyster sauce.
Oh. Hello, hello, Groggy Games. Egg roll.
Yes.
Hello. Thank you for joining. Thank you for following.
So, yeah, we've been saying that we need to try to make more Hmong food because there's honestly not a whole lot that I like that is Hmong food. Like there's kind of like their kind of version of chicken and dumplings, where instead of like dumplings, it's noodles that they make. It's called copia, and I think it's spelled do
There it is.
there it is. And yeah, so you got like the noodles that they like make from scratch.
It's so good.
But I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very picky eater, and Jimmy twice really likes
Uh-oh.
twice really likes tripe. I don't care for tripe whatsoever.
Yeah,
So,
and it's just growing up eating different stuff.
yeah, it's just different things. Kapong, I don't care for kapong. I don't really care for yeah, I don't really care for pho either. It depends. I might like the broth, but
You're
I
not
don't
really
care
like
for
Yeah, I think you're just not really a noodle person.
Mm.
You like pasta, but like you're not much of like a noodle person.
I like lo mein noodles.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It's just like lo mein noodles, but lo mein noodles are like about the only the only Asian noodles that you like. Do you like pad thai?
It depends.
Mm.
If it's like the one that was at
I guess like more like soupy noodles. You don't really care for soupy noodles.
Yeah.
Because like that's what a lot of it is like the soupy noodles.
Maybe.
Yeah, like pho and kopia and even chicken and dumplings you don't really care for. Even like southern chicken and dumplings you don't really care for.
Yeah.
Because it's too much of the starchy breading stuff. You had mentioned ginger as a typical spice and red chili peppers. Are there any others that you can think of? So a lot of stuff that we use is also almost most of our dishes have some sort of
cilantro, mint.
Yeah. Usually cilantro and
lemongrass.
Yeah, cilantro, lemongrass, and green onions, and then we will use
MSG.
Yeah, some people are weird about MSG. But what's the yeah, and then sometimes mint, but depending. So
yeah. What we have on the screen is probably one of my favorite Hmong dishes. We had it at our wedding. It's called it's called Gai Kaji, and it pretty much translates to sweet meat or sweet pork. Yeah. Although I'm still picky about it too, because a lot of times when they make it, the meat has these big thick chunks of fat, kind of like this right here. That's just a chunk of fat, and I'm very weird about fat in meats.
That's okay though.
But if it's like, like a good piece of the actual meat itself, then it's really good. And it's served with hard-boiled eggs that's coated in the sauce as well, so it's like kind of eaten together.
Yeah, this recipe is a little different from what I'm used to.
But it was just really funny because it's got the hard-boiled eggs there with it on top of the rice. at our wedding, of course, we had to have this dish because it's one of my favorites. And one of my cousins, was trying it, and he picked up one of the hard-boiled eggs with his fork, and he looked at it, and of course it was covered in the sauce, and he couldn't tell right away that it was a hard-boiled egg, so he like just picked up, looked at it, and he goes, "Potato?" And we were like, "Oh no, it's a hard-boiled egg." But I can see the confusion though, because it does kind of look like one of those like small russet potatoes that you like eat whole.
Yeah.
But either way, he still liked it a lot. It was still really good.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that all of my, even though I didn't have really any doubts, but I was just really happy that all of my family was able to experience and enjoy this food, and just enjoying the experience of our wedding as well, because pretty much before meeting twice, I had went to school like because we met in high school, and but I had gone to school in elementary and middle school with some other Hmong kids, but I didn't know that that's what they were. But I never really assumed that they were, like Chinese or anything like that. I just saw them as they were. And just after meeting twice and dating him and really learning about his culture, really got me into it. I had already been into Asian cultures from watching anime and Korean dramas and Chinese dramas and Japanese live action dramas. So I already knew that I kind of had a little bit more into liking into Asian guys / cultures. Because I kind of thought that dating another Caucasian guy was kind of boring. Because we do have like a culture, I guess, but I don't know, it's just very hard to explain. Like, it just doesn't feel like anything is interesting, maybe just because I grew up in it, or grew up not really doing anything different. But then it was just really good because I'm glad that my parents didn't really care who I dated, as long as like they were a good person and they weren't a troublemaker or rude or things like that. And they really liked twice right away, and anything that I would just try to just explain something that I found out of what I learned about his culture, they were super fascinated and interested by it too, and they're just always happy to hear whatever I have to say or about what I've learned. And it was just really cool with our wedding too, like how cool they thought it was, and just like the deep meanings that there is behind things.
Keep going.
I know, I'm just trying to see what else.
Seeing some people.
Yeah. This is cool. This is what you would typically see at a New Year as like a kind of like a pastime. It's called bapa, and it just means like ball toss, and it's kind of like their traditional courting ritual. It's just really cool if you see, and because New Year's were like a typical, pretty much one of the only ways you would be able to go to meet a possible boyfriend or husband. So that's just kind of like what you would do, as far as like you would just toss a ball to each other and just have small chit chat and get to know each other.
Yeah.
And
it's like a hootenanny.
food nanny.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Another thing I really like about the culture is the clothing, as like you can kind of see in the video. It's really cool how the clothes, it's kind of blended together a lot, but like traditionally, your clothing is what told you what family you were from because it's taboo, even if you're not necessarily blood related to somebody with the same last name as you. It is taboo to marry somebody with the same last name as you.
Oh, cool.
Um.
Hi, Kasha. We're here with my wife today, and we're just chit chatting, talking a little bit about my culture, the Hmong culture, kind of seeing how
my experience with it, my likes and not many dislikes. I don't really think there's not really any dislikes.
the food.
Food.
Just kidding. Hang on, let me go to Kasha's channel real quick too. I always have to redeem my thingy whenever she's here. Weird. Oh no, not the random one. Keep going though.
Clothing. Yeah. So if you see somebody wearing a specific clothing that you see, oh, she's also a Lee or Lor or Yang or Vang or Moa, then you don't want to talk to her because it's taboo to marry her anyway.
Oh, what was it? Oh, you mean talking, marrying people same
last name? Yeah.
Yeah. Kasha's here, so I gotta do this. Aha.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't have that issue whatsoever.
Nope.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah. So now, technically, like Hmong fashion has evolved a lot into like more modern looks. But there's some that still like to wear more traditional clothing too, because I think it's just cool as far as the difference and all the different clothes, all the different patterns. So and styles. So it's kind of like just more generally blended together, so you don't really see necessarily what they are, but that's okay though, because then you just gotta talk to the person anyway. Just be like, oh hey, like, what's your name? And then be like, if they find out they have the same last name as you, you can just be like, okay, it's nice to meet you, bye.
Yep, you ask your last name first, and then you go bye.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's very cool, and there's a lot of moms and sisters and things like that. They'll like wear matching outfits, so it's really fun. Yeah, those are some big hats.
Yeah, like I think people generally like having like the more modern kind of clothes, like because the fashions kind of go in and out. But yeah, like I think
the
even
more...
the last time we went to the New Year, they had a lot more like I think as years go by, there's always more and more modern clothes being sold off as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the
more traditional simple, kind of like her right there.
Do you like him?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like oh, and that's like a tie outfit. But I probably wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that.
It's a bit too much.
A little bit too much. I like the more simpler style still.
Well,
that's very cool with the leather.
You got Hmong goths.
Yeah. I don't think that's. I can't. I'm not judging.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was kind of like a Cinderella kind of dress, with the poofy.
Yeah. I still think it's cool.
Like
This. Yeah, I like what this girl is wearing. That is typically what I like to wear. Just because it's like just more simple. Because what you don't see too is that it's actually pieces. There's a lot of different pieces to an outfit. The guys have it so easy. They just have shirt, pants, and this shay or like apron piece in the front. Girls have you wear a tank top or a white button up underneath, and you have to wear either leggings or like legging shorts or like Spanx, some kind of shorts underneath. And then you have this after you have like on your underwear, you have your shirt that you put on first, and then you tie around the skirt. So the skirt you kind of wrap around and then you tie. Or more modernly, there are some that have it where they've made the skirts to have an elastic band. So then you just kind of overlap it. So then you put it over top of the shirt. And so after you put on, so you have your shirt, then your skirt, and then you put on this apron that's in the front that's called a shay. So then you put that in front and you tie it in the back, and then you have this kind of like pink piece that you can't see in the video, but usually has like tails in the back, like how the guys wear in the front. The girls wear it in the back. So then that goes over top there, and then sometimes you can leave it like that and you're done, or you can overtop it with another like coin belt, kind of like this, or there's like some that are more traditional that have more embroidery design on it, like this. And then usually you're done, other than your jewelry and your hats and your hairstyles and makeup, and things like that. So you're cinched pretty much, and usually, even though there's a lot of food at the new year, maybe you'll be hungry for a little bit, but without a doubt, after you get undressed and all that comes off, you're gonna be starving.
Yeah, just a matter of being
yeah, because normally, traditionally, if you see like traditional clothes, the shirts are not really fitted. They're kind of just more when they're made, they're just kind of made boxy, so that way they kind of fit anybody that wants to put it on. And then you create your waist shape with all the tying of all the ties and stuff. So then you create your waist. But yeah, like I said though, you will feel it. But it's really pretty though, and I always have fun. Because New Year is really the only place that you are able to wear Hmong clothes, unless you're just doing it for a photo shoot or like some other event, like some kind of Asian festival that goes on. Sometimes there's different times of the year, but usually New Year is like the biggest one that I will usually wear Hmong clothes too. So there's, I got the tails in the back there. But it's just really cool, all the different things. I made my own outfit, my very first outfit, when I was, as my, graduation project. I did my graduation project in school, on Hmong wedding traditions, as like my, that's cool. So it was really cool.
Someone in the comments said that some of these are weird looking and kind of scary. Was it this one? Some of these outfits and people are crazy. Oh, the people too. I mean, I guess so.
Oh, what?
Don't say nothing if it is. Just.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. That's funny, he kind of, looks like you.
This is my other channel. I don't want to like stuff on there. Where was this?
I think it was in San Diego, it said.
Fresno?
Oh, yeah, Fresno. California, so.
Whoa, look at these.
I know, that's cool, yeah.
Hang on. Was it him? Looked kind of like him. Anyways, I think I went too far. I think that is. Anyways.
I would be surprised.
Right. That's cool though. But yeah. Yeah. But since we talked about the clothes and stuff like that too, just as a general, I'm trying to think if anyone else has any. Does anyone else have any other questions as well, as far as my culture or anything that?
Before I get into the religion.
Nah, I don't know, because we can save that one for another time. Yeah.
Or not.
Well, we'll see.
You know, I always like talking about it. It's funny because I feel like I know it's not true, but I feel like sometimes I'm more interested in your culture than you are. But it's just because I express it more, and you just have it more internal. Because you grew up with it, so it makes sense that you wouldn't show your excitement as much as I do.
Yeah.
Because I always like to. It's funny. I always say this whenever I explain our relationship, because when we met and started dating, he had told me about how when they do what we call parties, and there would be like his quote unquote cousins that would do parties like pretty much every weekend. And whenever you have a party, you know, it's kind of you're kind of obligated to go and help, kind of out of, you know, respect, kind of. And so he, being, you know, like middle school, you know, was tired of having to go to help with these parties every weekend because it's kind of like an all-day thing, and it gets tiring, and it's understanding. I would be too. So he was kind of one of those that was starting to kind of shy away from enjoying and liking the culture. So when I met him, you know, I told him, I said, you know, I was like, well, I need you to teach me, and because I want to learn, and we're gonna need somebody to teach me how to speak it, and just learn everything in general. And so he better start liking it again too. So I kind of, because, you know, what most people would think when they see us dating would be like, oh, she's gonna whitewash him and just gonna take him away from the culture, when in the opposite, I was actually wanting to push him more towards his culture and being a part of his culture. So it's funny, true love irony. In a way. Yeah, and it's cool because I think throughout the years we've been together, I think you've been enjoying it a little bit better. Sometimes it's still a little shaky for me just because even though we've been together so long now, there's still a little bit of culture shock every single time I go to a party. But it's okay though, because, you know, like, my in-laws comfort me the best they can and encourage me. And it makes me feel better. But, you know, it's like just continual growing, continual learning, and but it's okay to feel culture shock sometimes. So. Yeah, because whenever somebody asks as far as like, oh, like who's your husband, what ethnicity is he, I always feel super excited and happy to explain everything. And sometimes I kind of over explain, or explain things that I don't necessarily need to unless they ask about it, but that's just because I'm excited. Because I want everybody to know what this culture is and how they got here, and how much it's grown, and I think definitely more now, but still, as far as like there's maybe more, at least all the people that I explain it to, there's more people that know them now. Yes, I do love him very much.
Yeah, I love you too.
No.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So now it's 9 o'clock, so we can kind of keep going though. It's not too late yet.
Yeah, I still, like I said, I'm open to just lay it all out.
Wow, we can save it for a couple different ones. That's what I'm saying too. Yeah, so, like, we can kind of like figure out what else, like what other topics we can talk into too, and then go more into them. So
yeah, because if you guys are interested, I have been telling Twice too that I want to do kind of like a group. It'd be cool to like kind of do like a big group like Hmong lesson, as far as whoever is interested in learning some phrases, words, in the Hmong language, because I think it's very cool. So you can like see it and hear it.
hello, Joe. Yeah, it really is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Joe in here too. So, I'm trying to think. Where else do you want to go?
I don't know.
Because like, at least for me, I want to always make sure that, at least if we're talking about it, especially trying to inform people about it, I want to make sure it's something when I'm talking about it, to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, as far as like, because like you said, getting into like the religion stuff, and I'm not 100% sure on a lot of it, so I want to still be careful what I say, to make sure, you know, like I'm not spreading misinformation, just because it's hard, because I want to make sure I feel like I personally get it right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's cool.
Joe lives near us. Not near, but no, it'd be too far. Oh, well, we'll see. Look, they got dude. These people got Korean street corn here.
What?
Although I think you know, we always get at the Hmong New Year, it's all of the new like trendy stuff coming through. Like you know, for a while it was pho. Like for a while, for like a long time ago, it was pho. For like people being like, "Oh, you could go get pho at the Hmong New Year's," and then it was the boba tea. Because kabong is just something that we make all the time, so that it's not as special, or like, you know, like it's not as different.
I like egg rolls and
yeah, but look at this lady's. She's got a hat with like a bow,
oh,
and
cool.
like it looks like a Victorian dress.
A little bit, yeah, like steampunkish.
Just cosplay. Yeah, we miss you too, Inferno. I guess hopefully I'll see. We'll see each other soon. Tape it. YouTube. Yeah. So, the Hmong New Year, around where we live, it's in. Oh, I guess everywhere, but
No, not everywhere. It's different days.
But kind of like how the video here. So in Sacramento, it's usually around. It's around Thanksgiving. It's around Thanksgiving time.
Yeah,
you could say that.
Yeah, in general, the Hmong New Year is. It was in like Thailand and Laos. It was a form of celebrating the harvest. So of that year. So
that's fluffy.
So
Oh, not fluffy. It's Finzy. I saw fluffy. It's like
yeah. So it's
Finzy.
like
Hello, Finzy.
Yeah. So it's like the harvest. So it's between like October and December. So yeah, and ours, where we live, it's always Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, and then that Saturday, Sunday. So it's 4 days total. But I know in the state next to us is the beginning of November. So it's like I think it's just the first weekend of November. So it's only 2 days instead of 4. But for in our state, it's Thanksgiving, Black Friday, that Saturday and Sunday. So.
Yeah, and I think it's. Dang, look at these people. They got
Musubi.
Is that a Japanese thing? I can't remember.
No, it's Korean.
Korean? Oh.
Yeah. Usually I think it's that spam thing.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that's what that was called.
Yeah.
I was seeing one of those TikTok things where they were it was like this like guy that really loves Asian stuff talking to like a American guy, and he's just like oh, I can't. Hang on, we gotta turn the volume up. Oh, my tracking. Where'd it go? Hello? Did you get a text? The long man broke my confidence. Why is my confidence so low? She doesn't show up super often. Camera broke.
Yeah, you're right in front of me. Look at you.
What's going on? Why did my camera break? The long man broke it. Alright. That's fine. It's still reading it though. Kind of. I give you the shifty eyes all the time. Alright.
You do that anyways. I'm just kidding.
Oh! Did it come back? It did.
There you go.
I broke free from the long man's spell. I'm stronger than him.
Big meaty claws.
Maybe I'm not. It didn't activate. Right. Oh, there it goes. It's just really slow. We got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. But
one thing, I guess like kind of like since we're on the topic of New Year, New Year is also a time when you kind of like, I mean, I guess kind of like you would say you would do on a regular New Year, like when you do like New Year's resolutions, as far as like saying that you want to be like a better person. For Hmong New Year, I think it's kind of cool as far as it feels like it has a little bit more meaning than just having a New Year's resolution. So pretty much like the heart of a new year is to say goodbye to the bad luck of the year that just passed, and you're wanting to bring luck and good fortune to the new year ahead of you. So, and it's cool because so kind of like one of the traditions when we do New Year with our family is after we do a ceremony that we can talk more about into depth later in another video. Then after we do it, then we are not allowed to spend money for 3 days after we do this New Year ritual. And it kind of unless it's like absolute, like you need to get groceries or you need to get gas to fill up your car, that's fine. But if it's like something luxury, then or something that you don't necessarily need right away, then you're not supposed to spend money. And then that kind of symbolizes, or is like kind of like hoping that means that you will make money or have more money in the next year. Yeah. So it's really cool. It's cool as far as like, you don't really think about that. There's a few of American traditions as far as New Year goes too. As far as I don't think like a lot of people really know it. Unless you Google it. I don't know what all of them are, but I know I've read online that like you're not supposed to do your laundry on New Year's Day.
We can look it up. Let's see.
Yeah. I know like the food, as far as like you eat collard greens to make more money.
Dude, why am I on Google?
I think.
We can go DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo might not be any better either. Don't do laundry on New Year's Day. Yeah, a lot of it's like superstition stuff.
Yeah.
It's a southern thing. Let me see. It's curious. I've never heard that before. Don't do laundry on New Year's Day, or a family member or a member of the family will be washed away during the coming year.
That's sad. Or wash a year of good fortune down the drain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't do laundry on New Year's Day, or you have more laundry than usual to do all year. Wear something new on New Year's Day to increase the likelihood of more new clothes. That's interesting, though. Yeah, it's just like very interesting. Like we can go into that one day too. I can even ask on Facebook just to kind of have like
yeah. I know there's like food too,
because see my family's like little superstitions and stuff that they know of. Because the Hmong people have different superstitions, but I don't know hardly any of them.
We know a couple.
A lot of them kind of seem to run together though with other cultures. Because there's the bird one. But that's a so in Hmong tradition, it's bad luck to have a bird fly into your house, but it seems like that's kind of a common thing among a lot of people.
Back luck.
One that is big for me right now is that you're not supposed to sweep under the groom's feet. Oh, that's an interesting one. Birds that bring bad luck. If a bird flew into my car, I would freak out. Birds flying to us. Yeah, it seems kind of like birds flying to people's houses is kind of like a bad luck
in general.
in a lot of stuff.
Mm.
Superstitions about birds. Yeah. One I remember growing up was
Don't point at the moon.
yeah, don't point at the moon. Was,
Well, that makes sense.
what?
It means that you won't get married.
Yeah.
Wedding tradition. The Hmong wedding traditions are so fascinating to me. I mean, I did do my graduation project on it. But even still, even after us being married, and then it was fun because we had gone to a cousin's wedding, and there was a girl there that was not Hmong, and I was like the one explaining to her what was going on, and it was just kind of really funny because I'm not Hmong myself, but it was good though. It was fun though because all the rest of of Twice's cousins was actually encouraging me as far as like joking, as far as like I was like, oh man, you know everything. Like I've set high standards for the other cousins that have non-Hmong boyfriends slash spouses. With how much I love to try to learn it and speak it. Um, so it was just really good. It was all in good nature. And it just made me feel really good and it encouraged me more. So I just found that really funny.
Oh, just your posture. Thanks for the posture check, Big B. Yeah. So I'm reading here. Superstition: don't point at the moon, or else it will cut your ear. But this I saw one a second ago that said Chinese something, but this one's is specifically Hmong. So like someone
cool.
had stated it. Yeah, although the connection seems arbitrary, they even witnessed this experience personally with their cousin, strengthening the cultural superstition. Once they pointed at the moon, and a week later they developed a cut or infection in their left ear. Now they're careful never to point at the moon. It's like, yeah. The Hmong superstition of not pointing at the moon to avoid physical harm aligns with other warnings for bad luck that is to come in other cultures. For example, the Filipino culture, it is imperative to not let a pole or object in the ground in between two people walking, or else they will get into a fight. But yeah, I've heard that before. As far as just like when you're walking, you're not supposed to let the, like if we're like joined hands or something, like don't walk in between something.
Right. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyways, the music stopped. That's why the music stops too. Just start it over. I want to find something else. Yeah, but there's some interesting ones as far as like we can go into like different little words and stuff like that too in the future of like different words and meanings and stuff like that. Yeah. How are you feeling though for now?
Depends on how you feel.
I mean, like I'm still ready to be up and do stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Because like I have the Pokemon thing still ready if you want to do that now,
yeah,
or if you want to wait. So, do you still want to do You want to do it now?
Sure.
Okay. So that might be it for the Hmong stuff today.
Unless you have more questions that you can think of off the top of our head while we're rolling, because like I said, you know me, I can talk about this stuff all night long.
Yeah. But what we're gonna do right now is we're going to switch over to a tier list. We're gonna rank the first 151 Pokemon